What's up? I'm Jason Lee, a kiteboarder, a stand-up paddler, a hydrofoiler, a drone pilot, a private pilot, and an entrepreneur. I love traveling, taking video, photos, building drones, and all the gear involved with my business and hobbies. Join me on product reviews and adventures. So here I am in a model home in a golf course community called Trilogy. We got some nice golf courses and all the amenities that come with that. But I'm just taking some photos of this model home that they want to sell. With me, I have a Manfrotto 055 carbon fiber tripod, and I'm gonna set that up. I've been really happy with this tripod. It's definitely good for SLR, DSLR, maybe slightly bigger. So let's go ahead and set this guy up. It's got the click locks, which is pretty nice. So what I like to do when I set these guys up is, extend it all the way as you can, and then this bottom tripod part, let's see, there we go. So the last leg, I usually keep it together, and it's going to be a little too short, so I'm going to probably add like 6 inches right here, 6 to 8 inches. And I keep them together, that way I can kind of measure all three. And now, it's pretty much just ready to go. Boom. So I'm gonna bring it up a little bit just so you can check out this head. This head is something that is mainly used for like precision type shots. It's a geared head by Manfrotto, and it's called the 410. So it's the Manfrotto 410 geared tripod head. As you can see, it's I think this is a 3/8 inch here. So your standard tripod heads, they'll fit it on here, no problem. The 055, it's made for cameras around that size, or for tripods around that size. And the nice thing about it, it is geared, and you have these little twisty levers right here. They're spring loaded, so if you need to move it a considerable amount, you can do that. So you've got your pan right here, and then this one here is your tilt, and then this is the roll. So you can kind of get it all situated how you want it, and then on top, as you can see, there is a little bubble right here. So I usually like to level it, get that bubble in there perfectly. And you can fine tune things just by turning this. And you can see how I turn it, it starts to move it. So this is like real precise movements. That way when you move it, you can actually, let it go, and it's firm in that spot. So when you're kind of cranking on this, the gears in there, they move it corresponding to to the way you're turning it, and you can just pretty much let it go, and it's going to stay there at that angle that you leave it at. So as opposed to a ball head where you have to loosen it, move it, and then tighten it, and then there's always like some little lag, like you tighten it and then you let go, and it kind of gravity tends to move it a little bit. This, when you're moving it, it just stays perfectly. So if you're shooting something still, like a building or interior house, it's great. But if you're shooting something moving, it is kind of a pain to be using this big head for that. So portraits, stuff like that, just stick with the ball head. But if you want to get some real precise shots, that's why I use this for any architectural or real estate kind of shots. And then armed with this tripod and head, I have here, so my real estate shooting equipment right here is a 5D4 with the 11 to 24 lens, Canon. It's a really nice lens, amazing wide angle shots you can get with minimal distortion. So you do got to be careful how you're shooting with it, because you know, shooting that wide at 11 millimeters on a full frame camera, you will definitely get some distortion. So it really depends on how you crop your shot, how you set it up, to try to minimize that distortion. And, you know, obviously zooming in to, you know, 18 to 24 is going to definitely reduce that amount of distortion. Now, a nice thing I like about this is this quick lock lever, which is really easy to get in and out of. So I just opened it, and all I got to do to put this on is just put it in, and it clamps on. So it's on there really, really good. So as you can see, just adjusting the pan, you can see how this, you can get down to like the smallest amount of change. Kind of just get it dialed in perfectly, and then you can go ahead and take your shots. And for this type of shoot, I'm not going to bring any lights in. I'm just going to bracket the shots because, you know, the outdoor light right now is pretty neutral. There's a lot of clouds in the sky. So I got 3 shots in there. I usually set it to a little faster drive, so high speed. So you get 3 shots, and then you just merge those with an HDR program, or if you want to get the nicest quality, then you can just kind of cut things out, like cut the windows out and just make a composite image that way. I'm going to be getting some new lighting equipment, so next time I do this indoor shoot, I'm going to try to brighten up everything, just battle the outdoor light with some off-camera light, and see if I can just get away with like 1 or 2 shots, you know, real quick HDR on there. I don't want to get too intense because, you know, if you're shooting out and there's some real bad backlights or really bright lights, you're going to have to work a lot, you know, in Lightroom in order to make it look good. So if I can minimize that with maybe 1 super powerful LED light, that would make shoots a lot faster on the back ends as far as the editing goes. You know, I may not even have to edit those photos, may not have to do any HDR at all. That would be an ideal situation, but I also don't want to be lugging around a ton of lights. So that's why I'm hoping I could just do it with 1 light, you know, instead of having to do the HDR shots, which they come out great. As you can see in some of these shots, pretty nice. You can see interior and exterior. That's kind of the main thing. A lot of these homes, you want to see what the view is going to be. So the best way to do that is by looking, you know, being inside, getting an interior shot, and being able to see what's going on outside too without it being blown out and without the interior being too dark. So that's why we merge them in HDR, or we bring lights in and battle the outdoor light with what we have inside. All right, let's get to work.